Hi everyone, welcome to this BoldSign API tutorial. I'm really excited to show you how to build a single-page application that interacts seamlessly with the BoldSign API. I'll cover how to enable CORS for smooth communication, generate access tokens using the BoldSign OAuth implicit flow, and send signature requests. By the end of this video, you'll be all set to access the API in your own projects. But before I get into the code, I would like to discuss CORS, which stands for Cross-Origin Resource Sharing. Understanding CORS will help you navigate any challenges when working with APIs, so let's explore it. By default, web browsers allow resource sharing within the same origin. Origin is defined as the combination of scheme, domain, and port. For example, this web page can access resources in this web page, since they share the same origin. However, if there are differences in the scheme, domain, or port, the browser enforces cross-origin restrictions, requiring configurations like CORS to enable resource sharing. I will demonstrate this. I created a React application that's hosted locally, and it includes a button. When clicked, the button attempts to access the send API to BoldSign. However, the request gets blocked due to differing origins, triggering the browser's security policies to protect against potential risks. To make this work, I need to enable CORS. Once I've done this, the browser will send a Preflight request to the server to check if it's safe to proceed. If the server responds with the correct CORS headers, the browser can move forward with the actual request. But here's the key point. Simply enabling CORS isn't enough. The BoldSign API requires access tokens for authentication. So I'll need to generate those tokens to ensure a successful connection to the API. To generate an access token, I'll be using BoldSign's OAuth implicit flow, which doesn't require any server-side interaction, making it super easy to implement for client-side applications. Here's the developer documentation for generating an access token using this flow. It lists all the parameters I need to include in the URL, with descriptions. There's even a handy sample URI that I'll copy. In the React sample, I added a button for authentication on the home page. In the button click event, I add a code to navigate to the URL copied from the developer documentation. Next, I update this URL with the corresponding variables I created. In it, I need to update the client ID, state, scope, and redirect URL. To create a client ID, I switch to the BoldSign web app and expand the API section to select OAuth apps. Then I click on Create App. Here, I enter the application name and set the redirect URL, the place I want users to land after granting permission. I enable the implicit flow and specify the allowed origin. Once done, I click Save and a client ID is generated. The best part? A client secret key won't be created in this flow, so there's no hassle of having to save or secure it. I copy the client ID and set it to a variable. I set the redirect URL, which should match the one specified when creating the app. I set the scope to grant full control over document and template resources. I set the response type to token. To set the state, I add a method to generate cryptographically strong random values. Next, on the redirect page, I have added a button to send the document out for eSignatures. In the component initialization, I extract the access token from the URL and store it in the session. You can manage the access token according to your needs, but be sure to handle it securely. Since the access token is included as a fragment in the URL, I then clear the URL by removing it. In the Send Document button click, I create a JSON object that includes the title, message, signer details, and form fields. I encode the files as a base 64 URL. In the request header, I set the authorization to include the bearer access token. Finally, I add an alert to display the document ID as a message. With this setup, I run the sample and check how it works. First, on the home page, I click the Authorize button. This navigates to a page where the user is prompted to sign into their account and grant consent for the app to make calls on their behalf. After selecting Allow, the website redirects to the configured redirect URL. On the redirect page, I click the Send Document button to send the document out for eSignatures. An alert displays the document ID, confirming that the document has been successfully sent for signing. If your application is entirely client-side, so built with JavaScript frameworks like React, Angular, or Vue, then the implicit flow can be helpful, as it allows the app to directly receive an access token after the user authenticates, without needing a backend server to handle tokens. That's how you can make API calls effortlessly without any server interaction. That's all for today. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to our channel for more BoldSign API tutorials. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section.